Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unboxed God, where we detox from religion and discover the God who refuses to fit inside the boxes we were given. I'm Tolu Sarah Johnson, and here we explore who God really is beyond fear, beyond formulas, and beyond everything we were taught to perform. If you're hungry for a real relationship with Him, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. So still on the book tree, when God interrupted the Christianity I built, and this is chapter 6, the invitation into raw honesty, standing before God without the mask, without the role, without the performance. What I've come to understand is the most terrifying and beautiful moment in faith is when it comes to a moment after the collapse, after the confrontation, after the tears, after everything that you've gone through. And when God asks for something you never offered Him before, the real you, not the prayer warrior, not the strong believer, not the holy example, not the church leader, the real you. And He says, don't just come alone, come with your confusion, come with your anger, come with your weakness, come with your insecurity, come with your emotions, come with your humanity, come with your heart. I receive you anyway. And He looks at all of it without flinching and just says, I want you, not your heart. But the you I want is include all of those baggages that is coming with you. Well, what are you going to say to that kind of God? Aren't you going to love Him recklessly? I love Him recklessly now. I don't know how to stop. I don't know when to switch off. It consumes my mind. Because He has taken me. Every baggage. It's taking me the way I am. It's taking me with my shame. It's taking me with my embarrassment. It's taking me with my past. And He doesn't hold that over me. He erases them. And He says, I love you anyway. And all I need from you is just your honesty. It's just your transparency. And religion trains us to speak to God like we are on a spiritual job interview. Yes, at the beginning of our conversation with Papa, I will have a lot of things that was worrying me in our private conversation. I won't even mention it because I always think I just need to bring the most reasonable prayer point. Because I was still looking at God as my strict employer. But honesty sounds very different. Yes, start bringing that honesty to the foundation of your relationship because it sounds different and it changes you in a huge way. Because when you can say, Father, I'm hurting. Father, I feel lost. Father, I'm disappointed. I don't know what to do. I remember my husband, whenever I was angry with God, he would just say, God, just leave me alone. And I would be like, are you seriously talking to God like that? At the beginning, when Matthew would be drinking and still messing around, I'll be like, are you speaking to God like that? Look at how religion messed me up. I didn't even know I could be afraid before God and show it. I didn't know I can be angry at Him and say, yes, I am angry. I didn't know I could say, I want to trust you, but help me. And these are all the things that we need to start learning like a little baby. Because if a little child is hungry, they cry. If they want something, they cry. They ask for it. They don't hide. But religion makes us to play maturity that makes us fool before Him. So you think you're no longer a child. You think you're not mature now and you know what is good and what is right. And you just go to Him and keep the real heart within you. You hide it and go there to pretend And you keep performing. Even when you're supposed to bring your real self, you don't know how to bring your real self anymore because the performance has become your identity. How is that relationship ever going to grow? It's just like my husband. I know he would tell me anything. The only things he did not confide in me was the things that himself and God were discussing. And he said it's because God asked him to keep a secret. And I respect that. But a lot of times we share thoughts, we say things between ourselves, and that helped me to know, yes, I am intimate with him. Yes, he loves me. Yes, I can bring every version of myself to my husband. Never has he used that against me, the things I tell him. And those are some of the things I miss. Because like when I'm trying to make a decision and I'm confused, I'll be like, I wish my husband was here. And Matthew will probably say, Tolu, but you can speak to him. But it's not the same. I speak to him. Oh my God. But let's go back to the topic. Without honesty, without bringing your open self, your relationship can't grow. Because when you began to be open, then that is when you're building real intimacy with God. Because you've come to the place he actually lives. You've come to that place where you understand him. You know his heart. You know he loves you. And honesty does not push God away. It pulls him close. Tell him. All of those things that make you sad, tell him. Show your real anger to him. We have been terrified that God can't handle it. Our doubt, our questions, our disappointment, our brokenness. But this is the truth. God cannot heal what you hide. When you finally tell him the truth, you discover this side of him religion kept from you. Because religion never encourages you to be honest. They encourage you to perform. And the pastors perform for us every Sunday. We never see the real there. So how do we know that we can be honest with God? God is gentle with honesty. He is tender with weakness. He is safe with tears. And honesty is not rebellious to him. Honesty is trust to him. And I have seen it in my life that honesty has changed my life. It has enabled me to have intimacy and connection with God in a way that I've never had before. Because when you fail to open up about your struggles and fears, you are actively blocking the intimacy it desires with you. So confessing, admitting your struggles, God can get to a level where he can admit his struggles as well. And God cherishes the fact that the believer speaks openly. You speak openly with him without hesitation because your heart is pure to him. And that is where the healing starts. The healing from religion. Because imagine going to a therapist. Won't you open up to a therapist so that the therapist can help you? And that's what Papa has done for me. He's created an avenue through these conversations where I've been vulnerable, where I can share my deepest pain and desires, where I will listen and ask questions that lead me into a place of healing. Because I know that I can bring my full self before him so that I can find true healing. And how will I be able to live my divine purpose if I'm not ready to be transparent with him? Transparency is necessary for you to live a fulfilling life that God intended. And he reveals his unconditional love, because through that you are able to know that God really, really loves you, because you have these deep conversations that opens you up. So my journey has changed, and I'm grateful to God because I can tell him anything now, because I know that he's there waiting for me, always willing to pour his love on me. And you need to drop that religion idea of making you strong, because God doesn't want the strong you, he wants the real you. Because strength says I'll hold it together, and love says you don't have to. Strength says I got this, and love is saying let me carry you. Strength hides weakness because he fears judgment. That's been my life. But my honesty now, it has exposed my weaknesses, because I believe in love. Because I know that when I'm honest, even if he exposes my weakness, he also shows his love. And that's the shift. No more performing for acceptance. Just receive the love you were always given. Please, let the real you finally comes forward. Let the marks drop so that you can breathe again, so that you can your shoulders can relax, so that your soul can exhale, so that your walls can lower, so that your heart open. And this is where intimacy lives, in the space where nothing is hidden, and yet everything is loved. And you find the courage to say, Father, here is my heart, every part, the beautiful and the broken. And he whispers, I've been waiting for this version of you for too long. And that healing begins from that honesty. You may not be strong right now. You may not feel spiritual right now. You may not have answers. But you know what you finally have? Truth. And truth is where love starts its work. And this chapter is where your faith stops being a performance and becomes a relationship. This is where you move from pretending to trust, from talking to connecting, from fearing to loving, from striving to resting, from surviving to belonging. And this is where you discover God doesn't love the perfect version of you, because she never existed. He loves you. The perfect me doesn't exist. So he loves me the way I am. God loves Matthew the way he is. He knows the perfect version of Matthew never exists. And he loves him how he is. So remove the mask. Step out of the role. Let the performance die. The Father is inviting you into the greatest freedom of all. Being fully known and fully loved. You're too much. You are not too much for him. You are not a disappointment. You are not failing him. You are finally being found. Welcome to the honesty that heals. I hope you've been blessed as we move to the last chapter of this book, which is chapter 7.